Adesanya reacts to Robert Whittaker's victory over Marvin Vettori and doesn't seem surprised with the result. UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya reacted to the fight between Robert Whittaker and Marvin Vettori, and it wasn't surprising that Whittaker came out on top. It is well known that there is a rivalry between Adesanya and Vettori. That is why the champion looked forward to Robert Whittaker defeating his sworn enemy Vettori. Adesanya had the opportunity to fight both fighters and perfectly knows their fighting styles. So before the fight, he had already stated that it was going to be Whittaker who would get the victory. Here is the reaction of the middleweight champion, Adesanya.
Well, Rob went in there and then did his fucking 2 fake kick him in the head, clipped him, and then he banked on that, and then he kept on hitting him with it. And Vettori showed a lot of shoulder and fucking jittery and spazzed out, so.
Robert Whittaker defends Israel Adesanya from accusations of being boring and thinks winning is the only thing that matters. Adesanya is one of the UFC's most spectacular fighters. However, many fans believe that some of Adesanya's recent fights have been boring to watch. Among those who have openly criticized him is his rival Vettori. But for Robert Whittaker, winning is all that matters. During his post-fight press conference, Whittaker said, "I'm pretty sure he's just paid to win," in defense of Adesanya. These were Robert Whittaker's statements.
There were a lot of obstacles we had to get out of the way on the way here, and we did it. You know, a huge shout out to Justin Lang at Live Athletic. He got me here in tip-top shape, fitter than ever, healthier than ever, and it was on his back that we were able to do what we did tonight.
Were you surprised by anything from Vettori today?
No, I did my research. We worked hard. We worked really hard, mate. I don't just rock up to these fights. We worked very hard, and that's why I had to push the fight back the first time, because I didn't want to rock up with without any training. It's not the.
Nate Diaz thinks Conor McGregor trilogy could happen. Nate Diaz is days away from one of the most important fights of his career against Russia's Khamzat Chimaev, a potential title challenger. As the days tick by, fans are excited about Diaz's future as a fighter should he manage to defeat Khamzat. In a recent Inside Fighting interview, Diaz stated that he could have a third fight against McGregor. But first, he needs to concentrate on the present and the match in front of him. Check out the interview.
That's the timing's not on right now. We'll worry about that later. It's for sure gonna happen at some point. But
so it's for sure gonna happen at some point.
Yeah, at some point. He needs to get back on what he's got to do, and
you're
whatever that is, it's like when we match up, we're gonna match up, but we ain't going nowhere.
Do you think a trilogy between McGregor and Nate Diaz could happen? Which of these fighters will come out on top? We'll be reading you in the comments. Joe Rogan praises Demetrious Johnson and doesn't understand why he's not in the UFC Hall of Fame. Joe Rogan can't believe Demetrious Johnson doesn't get as much credit from the UFC as he deserves. As one of the greatest fighters of all time, Demetrious has racked up remarkable victories during his career. Just last month, the former flyweight champion knocked out Adriano Martins with a walk-off flying knee in their rematch to claim the ONE Championship 135-pound title in Singapore. On a recent episode of his podcast, Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan said Demetrious is one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Oh, and by the way, shout out to Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson.
I know, I was gonna say that.
Still doing it.
What a
Wins
savage.
the world title over at ONE. I mean, he's gotta be. How old is Mighty Mouse at this point in the game?
36, I think.
He is one of the greatest of all time. That guy is so fucking talented. So talented, and the way he set that knee up, the way he hits him with the right hand, and there's like a pause, not yet, boom! Lands it perfectly.
He's another fighter that intelligently is one of the best.
When he was at the top in the flyweight division in the UFC, you would see guys trying to solve this puzzle of this guy who's here, and then he teleports to here, and then he's kneeing you in the body, and then he's over here, and then he's got your back. Boom! Perfect timing in that. And then walks off. See ya. Look at that. Hits him with the right hand. Bing! I got you.
I'm out.
Look how he spins away. Like, I got you. I know that's over. He just knew just by the way it impacted. Is like, there's no way you're getting out of that.
Gilbert Burns expects Islam Makhachev to come up short against Charles Oliveira. He's not Khabib. Gilbert Burns isn't convinced Islam Makhachev has what it takes to call himself Khabib's successor. In a recent interview, Burns said that he does not understand how people can say that Makhachev is better than Khabib when Khabib went undefeated in his career. Meanwhile, Islam has already lost against Adriano Martins. During the interview, Gilbert also said, "I heard that Makhachev is very, very good, and he finishes a lot of guys, and has a really good submission game, better than Khabib. But the numbers don't say that." Take a look at Burns' controversial statements and tell us in the comments who you think wins this fight.
Like, and people, oh, he's the new Khabib. No, he's not Khabib. He lost by knockout. He got taken down by Thiago Moses. He doesn't have a lot of finish. Yeah, he finished Dan Hooker. Yeah, he did. He did finish Moses. Yeah, he did. But look at the finish that Charles have. I think Charles' curriculum is way better than Islam. Charles' strike is way better than Islam. Charles is huge. He's way bigger than me. I saw him a couple times. Charles on a very good momentum. I do think Charles is gonna win. I don't think it's gonna be easy. I think Charles finds a way to put himself in a war. It's gonna be a war, but I do believe Charles is gonna win.
Paulo Costa and Khamzat Chimaev have to be separated after an altercation ahead of UFC 279. Paulo Costa and Khamzat Chimaev aren't exactly best friends. Recently, the two fighters had to be separated after they got into an altercation days before UFC 279. The incident occurred at the UFC Performance Institute in Las Vegas, where Costa was training with former UFC welterweight Jake Shields. In a video released by Costa, the Brazilian showed footage of Khamzat taunting Costa outside the cage where the training session was taking place. Fortunately, the altercation did not escalate, but it could have ended in a deadly fight.
Fight you. Don't be stressed. I want to fight you. Falou comigo? Eu não sei quem é você não, rapaz. Eu não te conheço não. Ah, você tá falando com ele. Quem é você? Quem é você?
Khamzat Chimaev will fight the winner of Adesanya versus Pereira. Khamzat Chimaev is eager to become UFC champion. Instead of waiting for the Usman-Edwards trilogy, the Russian fighter is ready to fight the winner of the Adesanya versus Pereira fight. After Leon Edwards knocked out Kamaru Usman, UFC commentator Daniel Cormier insisted that welterweight contender Khamzat Chimaev was the biggest loser after the fight. That's because the promotion is expected to sign an immediate rematch for early 2023, meaning Chimaev would have to wait several months for a title shot.
Right away. Yeah, if you don't want to do it for me, no problem. I'm gonna take some other fight and we'll see what's happening. Maybe Israel Adesanya or what's the other guy named Pereira, and his name. Who wins there? Maybe fight with them. I don't know. Don't know. Wait for that and what's happening after the fight. He said like after my last fight, maybe we'll fight for the title, but it didn't happen anymore.
That's all for today, guys. If you want to know the latest UFC news, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell, and click the like button so you don't miss any details about the upcoming fights. Thanks for watching. See you soon.